We live in a world obsessed with pleasure, a world where indulgence is celebrated and restraint is often seen as weakness. Yet, there are those among us who quietly refuse the intoxication others chase. They do not drink, not out of judgment, not out of pride, but out of a deeper understanding of themselves. They know that clarity of mind is not a luxury. It is a weapon, a tool for survival, and a pathway to mastery over the self. The Stoics taught that we must distinguish between what is within our control and what is not. Epictetus said, "It is not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." A mind clouded by alcohol reacts, stumbles, and yields to impulses. A sober mind, however, observes, calculates, and acts with purpose. Those who avoid drinking understand this intuitively. They are warriors of their own consciousness, refusing to sacrifice their judgment for fleeting pleasure. There is a quiet power in their behavior. Like Marcus Aurelius, who would retreat into reflection and self-discipline, they embrace solitude not as loneliness, but as a fortress. Their social interactions are deliberate, their choices precise. They recognize the danger in surrendering control, even momentarily, to forces outside themselves. And in this, they are free. They also observe the world differently. They notice the subtleties others miss, the lies, the manipulation, the unspoken motives. They do not need chemical camouflage to face reality because reality, however harsh, does not frighten them. In fact, it sharpens them. We can learn from them. To resist the world's pull toward indulgence is to reclaim our sovereignty. To choose clarity over distraction is to step into a life of intentionality. Every time we refuse to surrender our mind to fleeting pleasure, we strengthen the muscle of self-mastery. They are not merely abstaining. They are sculpting their inner fortress. And within that fortress, we too can find the strength to observe, endure, and rise above the chaos of the crowd. The refusal to drink alcohol is not merely a lifestyle choice, it is a declaration of independence from the chaos of external influence. Those who abstain understand, often instinctively, that the mind is the true domain of power. Seneca warned, "We are more often frightened than hurt, and we suffer more from imagination than from reality." Alcohol blurs the line between imagination and reality, dulling the senses and clouding judgment, leaving one vulnerable to both inner and outer threats. Those who abstain protect themselves not by reacting blindly, but by cultivating an inner calm that cannot be shaken by external tumult. In every gathering, in every social ritual, they remain grounded, observing rather than participating in the mindless dance of excess. Their silence is not awkwardness, it is strategy. They do not need the approval of others, for they have already claimed it for themselves through self-mastery. Like a stoic in the midst of a storm, they recognize that happiness and strength are not granted by the indulgence of the senses, but by the cultivation of reason and discipline. This deliberate restraint also manifests in how they respond to pressure and temptation. When others succumb to impulsive decisions driven by alcohol, they act with foresight and clarity. Their choices are informed, precise, and deliberate. They see beyond the moment, understanding that the consequences of surrendering self-control are far-reaching. This is why they are often misunderstood, labeled as distant or cold. Yet in truth, they possess a wisdom and power that many will never grasp. To emulate them is to reclaim sovereignty over one's mind. To resist the pull of temporary pleasure is to invest in lasting strength. Each act of abstinence is a meditation in discipline, a quiet affirmation that we are the masters of our own faculties, not slaves to fleeting desires. By preserving clarity, we equip ourselves to face life's trials with unwavering composure, turning our inner world into an unshakable fortress. Those who abstain from alcohol often exhibit a quiet, unshakable strength that many fail to recognize. This strength is not loud or performative. It is rooted in an internal discipline that aligns perfectly with the Stoic ideal of mastering oneself before seeking to master the world. Marcus Aurelius reminds us, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength." To resist the intoxication of substances is to assert power over the mind in its most primal way. It is a conscious refusal to allow external chemicals to dictate thoughts, emotions, or behavior. And in doing so, one develops an inner clarity that becomes a guiding light in the chaos of modern life. The abstainer moves through social situations with deliberate observation. While others are caught in temporary euphoria or the false courage that alcohol provides, they see clearly. They notice patterns, understand motives, and recognize weaknesses without needing to participate in the distraction. This reflective approach grants them insight, an advantage that is subtle but profound. In moments of conflict, temptation, or stress, they are not impulsive. They respond with measured thought, carefully considering the long-term consequences rather than succumbing to fleeting impulses. Their restraint also protects them from the entanglements of emotional volatility. Alcohol often amplifies destructive emotions, anger, jealousy, fear, turning minor irritations into crises. Those who abstain cultivate a psychological immunity, a buffer between themselves and the irrational behaviors of others. This allows them to maintain calm, reasoned responses and preserve their mental energy for pursuits of real value. In essence, their abstinence is not just a choice, it is a shield, a discipline that fortifies their character, sharpens their mind, and preserves their freedom from the chaos that consumes so many around them. To follow their example is to step onto a path of deliberate self-control. It is to recognize that the body and mind are instruments of power to be wielded with care. Each act of refusal is a testament to foresight, resilience, and inner sovereignty, echoing the Stoic commitment to mastering oneself before engaging with the world. Through this clarity, they move silently but decisively, embodying the quiet authority of someone who has learned to prioritize lasting strength over temporary indulgence. People who choose to abstain from alcohol often develop a profound self-reliance that cannot be shaken by the opinions or behaviors of others. In a world obsessed with external validation, the decision to remain sober is an unspoken declaration of independence. Epictetus teaches, it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. By refusing to rely on substances to alter their mood or perception, these individuals cultivate a resilience that is internal, unyielding, and completely their own. They are not at the mercy of fleeting pleasures or social pressures. They are anchored in a reality they control. This self-reliance extends beyond mere sobriety. It informs their judgment, their relationships, and their priorities. While others are distracted by transient thrills, they are free to pursue mastery over their own thoughts and actions. Their clarity allows them to see situations for what they truly are, cutting through deceit, manipulation, and the chaos of overindulgence. In conversations, they listen with intent. In conflict, they respond with reason rather than reaction. Their presence exudes a quiet authority, a sense that they are governed by principle rather than impulse. Furthermore, abstinence sharpens their self-awareness. Alcohol can numb not only the body but the mind, dulling insight and suppressing reflection. Those who avoid it experience life fully, the joys, the pains, the lessons. They process emotions directly, confront fears without chemical crutches, and develop a level of emotional intelligence that becomes a tool of both personal and social power. Their mental discipline is a shield against distraction, a force that allows them to act decisively while others flounder. In essence, their sobriety is a manifestation of inner freedom. It is a deliberate choice that fosters autonomy, sharpens judgment, and builds the kind of character that moves through the world unshaken. They demonstrate that true strength does not need to be loud. It is quiet, consistent, and profoundly unassailable. Those who follow their example learn that the greatest mastery begins within, and that the mind, untethered by indulgence, is the ultimate instrument of power. If this video gave you a new perspective on self-mastery, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss a video that sharpens your mind and strengthens your character. Remember, true power begins within. Stay disciplined, stay silent, and keep moving forward.